Alright guys, refresh my, guys, click play and unplay and just look at it. Oh, you probably can't hear each other, so let me get that set up. Hear each other, so let me get that set up.
How'd that hear?
Hear each other, so let me get that set up.
How'd that hear?
Hear each other,
you
so let me get that
old-timers,
set up.
old man.
You guys are looping. I gotta set it so they can hear you guys. Did I stop the looping? Alright, guys, can you check and see if you can hear yourselves? Can you hear yourselves, guys? Check, please.
Testing.
No, I can hear myself. Wait, what?
Okay. Can someone just answer yes or no if you can hear yourself?
I'm a donut.
I don't hear. On what? Are you streaming or something?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have your stream up.
I can hear them with the lag and stuff.
Let's fire him out of a cannon.
I made this guy overprotect. I won.
Right, if you guys can hear yourself, it's good. I'm gonna get a drink and then I'll start reading it. So entertain nobody.
What's it called? I don't remember.
Looping?
It's called Ruckaguk.
Yeah, I can hear the. It's just the. For tiny.
We're entertaining each other.
I don't think it works like that.
I can hear you, Mr.
What's called
Pigpile.
We're entertained.
Hi, us. We're entertaining you. Us.
I'm just listening. I'm listening to Skype call pretty much via the stream.
Yeah.
Release the kitties. Release the kitties.
No more kitties need to be released.
Alright, I'm back.
Release the kitties.
Okay, back.
Release the kitties.
Alright, you ready? You ready to have it read?
Me and Matt are having like a death metal voice battle.
We're having the voice battle. Kitty battle.
Guys, Ashley has to hear this.
Oh yeah, she kinda does.
Matt, you do too. Alright. Dear Abby, we've never met before, so this may seem a bit odd, but I feel this is necessary. My name's Jay, for starters. I work the checkout line at the grocery store up on the 67th Street. You know, the one with the parking lot that's way too big for the store itself. Yeah, that one. I'm 24, fairly tall, and have a rather scraggly appearance. You probably wouldn't recognize me if I came up to talk to you. I don't have a very memorable face. I don't really know why I'm telling you all of this, to be honest. But this isn't the point of me writing you. I was working late at night yesterday. It was a very average day for the most part. Nothing too exciting happened, but you'd be surprised how interesting this job can get at times.
And of course, this is why I say there will be a next week.
There will be a message.
The message shall be delivered.
Oh my god, you're bad.
I had been reading some book. The guy that worked that counted the shift before me had left. It was some really crappy murder mystery, chock full of cliches. Incredibly boring if you ask me, but it's something to do, I guess. When you showed up, though, my whole night changed. I don't know exactly what it was about you that caught my attention at first, but as soon as I saw you, I got this odd feeling. A weird mix between excitement and terror. That's the best way I can describe it, at least. I saw you walk into my line, and I quickly composed myself. I'd been slouching down in my chair for a while, since I rarely ever get anyone in my line. It was only when you got closer that I realized what about you had caught my attention. You were absolutely beautiful. You walked up and said, "Hey," and handed me your cart. I could tell by the way you were talking, and the way that you looked, that you were very sleep-deprived, though this wasn't surprising considering how late it was. After a second, oh no, or two of awkward silence, I realized that you'd greeted me. I suddenly forced out a hi in response. I cursed myself out mentally for that one. I sat there for a second trying to focus. "What's your name?" I said. It's only later I realized how odd this must have seemed. What kind of grocery bagger asks what someone's name is? I'm glad I did, though. I remember it said you were named Abigail, but that you go by Abby for short. Abby. It seemed to fit so perfectly. The name seemed to roll off my tongue as I said it back to myself silently. It was like sweet honey. It just felt so good to say. It felt good as I said it. You seemed to be perplexed when I looked back at you, and I wonder if I'd done something to upset you. "Shouldn't you be packing those?" you said, and I pointed to your groceries. Suddenly shocked and embarrassed, I looked up and apologized, then clumsily started shoving groceries into the bag as fast as I could. I couldn't believe myself. How stupid could I be? But when I looked up, I realized you were laughing. "You're kind of cute," you said. I tried to play it off cool, but I was obviously thrilled. A girl like this thought I was cute? "You are too," I said, as I hastily packed the rest of the groceries. As you walked out, you turned around as you reached the door and said, "Have a good night." I'm guessing I look pretty stupid writing all this down. You probably still remember. I mean, it did just happen yesterday, but I went home ecstatic that night. With all the confidence in the world, I felt like it's almost unreal writing it back there. Anyways, I wanted to write you this letter, Abby, to tell you that I love you. I don't know what it was I felt that night. It was some weird mix of emotions. But I don't know, was that even in that small transaction we had, I felt as if there was something between us. Please, write me back soon. Sincerely, Jay. Dear Abby, it's been a week since I sent my last letter. I still haven't gotten a response, but that doesn't matter. Have you been? My life's been just as normal as usual. Get up, go to work, go to bed. I live in a really shitty apartment, but I guess that's what you get when you work as a grocery bagger. I've thought about you a lot lately, and I sometimes wonder if you still remember me. I saw you again today at work. This time, it was at a more reasonable hour, thankfully. I didn't want to bother you, to see if you'd approach me on your own. You came to my line again, which made me absolutely thrilled. This time, I was less nervous. I was going to act normal, no matter what you did or said. I wasn't going to let a girl, like you, slip through my fingers. As you walked up, you muttered something that was too quiet for me to make out, and I waited at the end of the counter for me to finish packing your groceries. This obviously wasn't what I had expected, but it wasn't all too bad. You didn't seem to feel anything at all, actually. I was expecting you to either come up and talk to me or avoid me like the plague, but instead you just walked on through as if I was another stranger. This makes me wonder if you got my last letter. You should check your mailbox more often. There was one moment where I felt something, though. I looked over briefly to see what you were doing, and at the same time you seemed to look up at me to see how far along I was. Right then our eyes locked, only for a second or two. But in those 2 seconds, I saw so much more in you than I had seen last time. I felt as if I had known you for years, like I knew all your intricate feelings and emotions. Did you feel anything like that with me?
Hey, I was picking a winner.
Stop ruining the mood. God damn it.
Your dad is the best.
I'm sorry.
I thought I picked a winner.
He has the best comments.
I don't know, the best one is still put some lotion on that.
Put the lotion in the bucket. You smack the hose.
Nobody else heard that. I was so surprised.
Guys,
I
I'm
mean, you
continuing.
weren't there,
No,
actually.
I knew. I
Guys,
heard that.
guys, I'm continuing.
Yeah, that was like this one time Eddie was streaming and just put some lotion on that.
Shortly after I'd finished packing
Never mind.
your bags, you paid and walked out. Obviously, this was a pretty normal process for me, considering I do it about 50 times a day. But I had been determined since the night I wrote that.
Stoplight to stoplight.
I wrote you that letter for the next time I saw you. I was going to get more out of it. I kind of screwed that one up. I wasn't satisfied with it. I had to have more. There's a little room in the very back left corner of the grocery store designated for staff. In there, though, I knew they kept all the security footage from that day. All staff are informed of this in the security cameras locations when they're hired. Luckily, for me, there's one position right next to my counter. I waited until the store closed up and everybody left, and then I went in. After flipping through a few of the TV screens, I found the one that was connected to the camera by my computer. I rewinded until about when I remembered you coming in. After a few minutes of scanning, I found it. There you were. I paused on the best still shot I could find. I knew the camera would do you justice. Wouldn't do you justice, but it was the best I could have for now. Having a longer look at you, I realized how truly perfect you were. Every feature of your body, your hair, your face, your legs, your chest, was just perfection. I rewinded the tape to when you'd first come on, up to my line. I couldn't help myself. My eyes were glued to the screen. After a few minutes of consideration, I popped out the tape and shoved it in my pocket. And then I drove home. I knew I wasn't allowed to. I could very well be fired for taking such action. But I couldn't help myself. I had to have you with me at all times. Just wait, even if it means me losing my job. Abby, I love you. I love everything about you. I think about you constantly now. Do you feel the same way about me, Abby? I just want us to be together forever. Right back soon. Yours truly, Jay.
Having heard this before, it gets a lot worse.
Dear Abby, it's been 3 days and I still haven't gotten a reply. Why don't you want to talk to me? I'm still unsure if you got my last 2 letters. Please tell me if you have. So I got fired from my job. They found the missing tape. I got a call from the store owner, my boss, at 6 a.m. on Monday and was told to come in immediately. They were having a mandatory all-staff meeting. When I got there, all the staff was gathered around a small table with the owner at the head of it. Once everyone had arrived, he told us that apparently there had been a minor robbery yesterday. They had stolen about $200 worth of stuff, and the one tape that would have shown who was the culprit was the one I had taken. Just my luck. He told us that no one was going to leave the room until someone confessed. After a few minutes, I finally gave in. I told him everything about how I felt.
Right lane.
About how I felt as if me and you had some kind of connection. After explaining the whole story, the entire room was staring wide-eyed at me. After I finished, I sat there in silence for several seconds. Suddenly, the store owner broke the tension. Jay, you're fired. Get out of here now and don't come back, he said. I did as I was told and got out of there as fast as I could. That stupid prick. He always treated me like shit. He's been on my case since the day I got the job. I swear he's just been waiting for me to do one little thing that could justify firing me. And the one time I slip up, he finds out. Why didn't he understand, though? Doesn't he get that you and I are meant for each other? Any rational man would ever understand. Anyone put in my situation would have done that, right? I've been searching you up a lot lately. With no job, I have all the time in the world to spend learning about you. Do you know how much you can find out with someone with just the first name and a town of residence? I found out your last name's Merritt. What a beautiful name, Abby Merritt. I can't help but say it aloud whenever I think about you. I also found out you're 24, and you live a mile away from me. I drove down to your apartment complex today. It looks very nice, much nicer than where I live. I asked to see you multiple times, but I was told that you weren't there every time. I felt more and more discouraged every time, but I was determined to see you again. After a few hours of asking, I decided to stay back in the parking lot for a while, waiting for you to come back, and after many hours of waiting, you did. It was late at night, around 10, I believe. I saw you pull up in your car and get out. I felt the sudden rush of warmth at seeing your face again. I know I have the security tape to look at, but it doesn't compare to seeing you in real life. I made sure to record it for later, when I was home. This time, with a much high quality camera. I wanted to capture as much detail as possible. I didn't know the next time I would see you, and the security tape wasn't enough for me anymore. I asked the woman at the front desk multiple times what your room number was, but she refused to tell me. She thought I was some sort of creep. See, Abby? These people...
I'm sorry, but it gets...
These people don't understand us. They don't understand what we feel for each other. I ended up waiting in the parking lot a little while longer until someone came out. After talking to him for a bit, he told me what your apartment number was. He didn't want to talk at first, but I made him. You'd be surprised what you can make people tell you when you're holding a knife to their chest. Don't worry.
Whoa.
I didn't hurt him too bad. But we can't have someone interfering with us. Don't you agree, Abby? I'm sick of all these people trying to keep us apart. I ended up watching you from the parking lot for a while. Once I found out your room number and how the rooms in this complex were organized, it wasn't hard to locate it. You should be more careful about shutting your blinds, you know. I was easily able to watch you from the parking lot. I can't get you out of my head anymore, ever. All I do is watch that video I took of you over and over, Abby. I want to be with you forever. I want to wake up in the morning to see you next to me in bed. I cannot wait until the next time I see you again. Love, Jay.
Wow.
It's not over yet.
Yep.
Yeah, no, but your mic... Is anybody else, like, derping out?
It's kind of doing that, but I think it's a mix of other people's mics being on.
It kind of is.
Yeah.
That's why
Here, everybody else,
I've been
like...
muting mine.
That's why I went and found it on Creepypasta, and I've been following along. I just
Oh.
now found it.
I don't even want to read it now.
I didn't have any problem with it.
Alright,
I didn't either.
I'm gonna keep reading and
I'm surprised you guys found my letters.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Come on, Matt. You been stalking me?
So your name's Jay? Alright, I'm continue though, guys. Dear Abby, I have some really exciting news, Abby. I'm moving in with you. Aren't you excited? We can spend hours and hours together. It'll be just perfect. Let me explain. My job paid just enough so I could make rent and pay for food every week. Because of this, I had little to no money in savings. Nowhere near enough to last a very long time. When you take that money flow away, it doesn't take very much until you have nothing left. I was able to get by for a few days, but just today I got evicted. This could actually be better than I had originally thought. I wouldn't be surprised if that guy that gave me a room number has been able to contact the police by now. This way, they won't be able to find me, and we will be able to spend all the time in the world together. It's perfect, isn't it? I made sure to bring all my tapes and photos I've taken with me. And my camera, of course. You should really tell whoever is managing your apartment complex to get better staff. I was able to get by security easily. You read that next? I'm kidding.
Yeah, I like that one.
I went up to your room and knocked on the door, but I got no answer. So I decided to get in by other means.
Wow, what a lag.
I hate
That's
everything.
really ruining the mood.
I hate
I
everything.
know. I'm getting creeped out, but he's freaking ruining it.
I'm sorry. Can
I don't know, your mic is like going up and down for some reason.
Yeah, everybody else mute your mic when she's
I
reading.
think try changing your audio settings. Maybe it's because your mic is keeps changing, making it different levels.
Audio settings.
Because you're the only one it seems to do that to.
It didn't happen in the beginning, which is weird.
Hey, is that adjusting now?
No, it's even worse.
What do you mean?
Change the automatically adjust microphone settings and just set it to a specific value.
I took it off.
Damn it, Bulls!
I took it off.
Alright.
How does it sound?
Did mine change at all?
No, how does it sound though?
Okay, so I have mine set to
How?
just always be like
Wouldn't be the
this.
first time.
How does it sound?
It just like keeps going out.
It
See?
like you get loud and then it kind of like
In fact, my
your mic
favorite
stops
drink is I'll
picking
have
up.
with the guy on
Yeah,
the
just
it
drops.
sounds like a Doppler effect. It's like.
And then it does it where it does
I can't even hear you now. You might want to unplug and then plug in your mic again.
Oh, Nana, what's my name? Oh, Nana, what's my name? Oh,
Now it's
Nana.
Okay, it's picking up your voice again.
Yeah.
Alright, guys, I'm gonna continue reading.
It's somebody's making it echo.
Mm.
I actually probably already read ahead and is no longer gonna want
Oh,
to.
it's,
No, I
it's,
didn't.
It's doing that again.
I waited for you.
It's doing it again. Does it work now?
Just everybody be quiet when she's talking.
Somebody's mic is making a noise.
Is it mine?
It's probably mine. Here, I'll mute it.
Now
Alright,
it's like deadly silent.
yeah. How does it sound? Does it pick up everything?
You know what? That's probably because it was right by my fan.
Is it picking me up or no? I'm guessing no, for lack of response. Guys?
It's probably. I think it has to do with with whatever program you're using, because it can hear you perfectly fine in the stream.
Oh,
Yeah.
might be my mic.
That's weird.
It's probably Skype.
It's probably
Like-
Skype.
What do I do? Rawr.
It's probably me.
What
It
do I
is,
do?
I don't know.
It's because mine keeps making some random noise.
Whoa!
Oh, no.
Is mine making some weird noise?
Yeah.
It's like the lowness of a fan.
Yeah,
Guys.
it's.
Guys.
Yeah.
Guys. Is it working?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna try to keep it like that.
Ah, why am I the problem?
You are the
Because
problem.
It's always you,
Child.
Lurtz.
I know, like, whenever I want to say something, she'll just cut out. I hate this.
Mute your mic now. Now I have to find my spot again.
I was able to get by security. I went up to your room and knocked on the door.
Oh yeah, but I got no answer, so I decided to get in by other means. After scanning the footage I took from last night over a few times, I noticed that you have a ventilation staff in the corner of your room. Not surprising, considering how hot it can get in the summertime here.
Shut up!
She said shut.
Liz, I swear to God, I will kick you from this call.
I know, I'm not
Oh, kill him! Kill him!
Like, am I better now that he's gone?
He's gone?
Kind of, but I don't know if it's gonna continue.
I'm just gonna continue, and if it does something wrong, type in the chat. Alright? I figured there had to be some kind of maintenance hatch that I could get in through. After a few minutes of looking around, I found a door at the end of your hall that seemed to be some kind of staff room, and luckily there was a way into the vents there. I crawled through them until I got into your room. It was very cramped and hard to move around in, but I managed. When I got there, though, I felt a rush of success. I figured since the lamps were out, I couldn't see you.
I'll tell
That you
what,
weren't
that
home.
was one hell of a race.
Are here ovaries?
But I'm patient. I scanned every part of your room, trying to mesmerize all the intricate details. God damn it. Your scent overwhelmed me as I sat there. I had caught it briefly during the 2 times I saw you at the store, but never this strong. Oh, you already said it for me. Never mind. Seriously, I'm gonna continue and I'm just not... Can I please read without you guys? I'm gonna continue reading now.
Opening door.
Your scent overwhelmed me as I sat there. I had caught it briefly during the 2 times I saw you at the store, but never this strong. It was mesmerizing. I couldn't quite place my finger on it, but it reminded me of something. It was almost like peaches. I sat there. Alright, that's it. You know what? He can come back. He can come back. He can come back after I'm done. Where is he? Remove from conversation. Why? It's telling me to remove him from this conversation. God damn it. He stopped, so it doesn't matter. I sat there, hunched over for a few hours. Though I've taught myself to be extremely patient, I can sit completely motionless for hours at a time, not moving a muscle. No one was going to notice me. Then, you finally got home. I felt a wide smile form on my face the second I heard the door open. There you were, my love. Of course you took note.
Whoa!
Who's making the sound?
Lag. Big. Wow. Yeah.
I know, Ashley. I know.
Oh, that was, yeah.
My mic is
On
muted.
my
You
street,
can't
it
hear
showed
anything
Big
from
Boogie line up to say go.
Bowles, mute
and
your
he
mic.
went down the other track.
Huh?
Mute your mic, Bowles.
Wait, you can hear that?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
Alright.
see this replay.
Dad, be quiet. I will kill you.
Hey, what's this replay?
Shut up, I hate you. God damn it.
Of course you took no notice.
I know, I'm trying to find that. I felt the way I saw him. Of course, you took no notice to my presence. The light in your room seemed to be angled perfectly, so you couldn't see anything in the vent after the first few inches. I tried to contain my excitement, but I started breathing very heavily. I tried to cover it up as best I could, just ignore it, but it was hard. You suddenly looked right at the vent. I went completely silent. After a few seconds, though, you seemed to lose interest. This made me smile. This was the perfect spot. I could tell I had startled you, though. All through the night, you kept turning over in your sleep to look at the vent. People seem to have a sense for when they're being watched. It can send them into complete panic. Don't try to fake it, Abby. I can tell when someone's awake, when someone's truly scared. Sleep becomes impossible. Why are you so scared, anyways? It's just me. Why would I scare you? You do love me, right? You know I love you. I'm looking forward to spending every day with you now, Abby. Right back if you can. Love, Jay.
Ready? Set. Go!
Bulls, mute your mic or I will stab you.
Stop making any noise, oh god.
Left lane.
Okay. Dear Abby, I saw you wake up this morning. I didn't sleep a wink last night. You were too enthralling. I spent the whole night watching you. I couldn't help it. Anytime I tried to look away, my eyes seemed to be drawn back a few seconds later. You look even more amazing when you're sleeping, you know. You'd be surprised how much you can learn about a person's personality by watching them sleep. I was tempted to get out of the vent to get a better view of you multiple times in the night, but I resisted the urge. I couldn't have you figuring out I'm here. Not yet, at least. You seem to spend a lot of time in your bathroom in the morning. I assumed you were taking a shower or putting on makeup. Why would you do that, Abby? Anything you could do to change that way you naturally look would only cover up your true beauty. Why would you want to do that? Don't you want the whole world to see you what I see? You left shortly after to work, or at least that's what I assumed. After careful consideration, I decided to leave the vent. I slid my hand through one of the slits and easily felt around for one of the bolts. The surface of the vent was very smooth, which made them very easy to find. I grabbed onto one and twisted as hard as I could, and finally was able to pop it off. I did this with all the other bolts, and finally removed the grating. The first thing I did was go over to your bathroom. I quickly disposed of everything that I could find that you could use to mask your face. This stuff disgusts me. This way, everyone will get to see how you truly are. I also found something else in there. Your hairbrush. I grabbed it and brought it close up to my face to examine it. It was a dull blue with a very thick rounded handle. But that wasn't what interested me. The hairs. That's what made me so interested. I took a good few minutes to pull every one of them I could see out and line them up on your counter. I counted them. I'd gotten 59. This pleased me greatly. I quickly scooped them up and put them in my pocket. I spent the rest of the day going through your stuff to learn about you, your interests and such. I take it you're a big movie fan, Abby? I found your collection in the back of the closet. I have to say it was quite impressive. I found something else in there that made me mad. A picture of you with another man. It disgusted me just looking at him, holding you like he owned you. I am the only one that can have you, Abby. No one else.
You're all going the wrong way.
At about 30, I considered starting to get back into the vent, since that's usually about the time you get back home from work. Then I had another idea.
Still somebody
I looked at your bed. The blankets hung low enough to the floor that you couldn't see underneath the bed unless they were lifted. I first screwed the vent grating back up and slowly stood under with a smile on my face and waited for you to get home.
Yeah.
When you finally came in, you looked completely pale, and I noticed someone else came in behind you. They were talking to you about hearing voices coming from your room throughout the day. I mentally yelled at myself. I would need to be more careful from now on. Going under the bed had been a good idea, though, since obviously your first thought was to check the vent. You thanked the person, and they left. Finally, you and I were alone. I sat there in silence until you went to bed. It seemed to be an eternity before you did. I wanted to get a closer look at you, though, tonight, and this was my chance. You got in bed and turned off the lights. I was cautious, though. I waited for hours to make sure you were asleep. And when I was sure you were, I slowly slid out from under the bed. And I saw you there. You looked absolutely stunning. Every curve of your body was perfect. Every little detail was beautiful. I was in awe just looking at you. I reached out my hand and I started to stroke your face. It was soft like silk. I felt myself starting to get hurt. Your beauty was overwhelming. I slowly reached down and started to pleasure myself. I tried to control myself, out of worry of waking you up, but I couldn't help it. I felt pure ecstasy. Everything about you was perfect. Suddenly, you seemed to turn and started to wake up. Horrified, I quickly slid under the bed, trying to be as quiet as possible. A few seconds, I saw you get out of bed and look around. I could sense your fear, even without looking at you. You should feel calm with me around you. Abby, I'll protect you, Abby. No one will ever touch you but me. I'd kill someone for you, Abby. I made sure to pay attention today. You didn't bring in my letter from yesterday, or any mail, at all. You must just not check your mailbox. I'm going to change that, though. I'm going to leave this one on your desk tomorrow. Oh, I forgot to mention I'm making something special for you. Check in your closet after you read this. Yours forever, Jay. You ready? Do you need a breath of that?
I started acting afterward. God damn it. Yeah.
Alright. Dear Abby, I spent more time today working on the surprise while you were at work. You're really gonna love it, Abby. I put a lot of work into it, you know. I spent a few hours today putting the finishing touches on it, and I think it's finally ready for you to see. You got home at about 8:30 a.m. and saw the letter laying on your desk almost immediately. I started to smile as I saw you open it, waiting to see a reaction. It was really quite interesting watching your face. I could see all your different emotions and thoughts. You seemed to be confused at first, then shocked, then horrified. You started to shake violently, and I saw that you were starting to cry. Do you not like me, Abby? Why were you crying? Don't you love me? Don't you love me, Abby? Everything after that was a blur. You looked over to the closet while still sobbing. You seemed to contemplating whether to open it or not. Instead, you ran past it and out the door. When you came back, you had all my letters in your hand and started going through them. At some point, you seemed to break down and curl on the floor, tears still rolling down your face. I could tell you were desperately trying to say something, anything, but you were too paralyzed in fear. After about 10 minutes, I saw you look under the bed, in the vent, anywhere I could be. You see, though, Abby, I'm smarter than that. I knew you'd look in those places. I found a better place after I finished your surprise. You'll never find me here. No one will. Isn't it great? I can watch you forever and ever, and there's nothing you or anyone else can do about it. You hadn't found your surprise yet, though, Abby, and I could tell you were still thinking about it. I saw you look over to your closet. I knew you wanted to open it, but at the same time, you were nervous. What was going to be in it? What would you find? This couldn't last forever, though. You and I both knew that. I watched you slowly walk over to your closet, fumbling with the handle, trying to get a firm grasp on it. Suddenly, you flung the door open and saw it. It was a scrapbook of me and you. I saw you flipping through the pages. You seemed to be shocked. Do you not like it, Abby? I got pictures of you and I when you weren't looking. Pictures of you sleeping, pictures of you at your computer. I'd scattered the hairs I'd collected throughout it, along with pictures of couples together. Of course with our faces on them, though. I got a picture of you with the other guy and put it at the very back, except I didn't leave it like it normally was. I scratched that little prick's face off. I hate him so much. If I knew who he was, I would hunt him down and make him suffer. Don't you get it, Abby? No one can have you but me. Me and you are meant for each other, no one else. I watched you sob for another 30 minutes, and then get up and run out of your apartment. Shortly after, you came back with multiple policemen. This shocked me. Did you not like the surprise, Abby? Why would you bring these people into our room? They'll never find where I am. But if they did, it could ruin everything. All my work from the last few weeks would be for nothing. You wouldn't want that, right, Abby? I'm exhausted from today's work, and as much as I love you, I need sleep, Abby. Have a good night. I love you. Love, Jay. Are you ready for the final letter?
Yeah.
Dear Abby. What?
This is creepy.
Yeah. The last part
That's
is
why
the
it's
worst.
creepypasta.
I know. It's amazing, though.
Just wait for the last letter. Dear Abby, do you see what you've done? Do you see what you've done? I woke up at 8 a.m. to see you frantically packing your bags. I was confused at first, but then I understood. You were leaving me. You don't love me. You don't love me. How could you do this to me, Abby? You were the only thing I wanted in life. I had nothing else to live for. But when I first met you, I saw a shimmer of hope. I thought that I'd finally have a reason to wake up in the morning and go on with my shitty life. And you went threw that away. How could you do this to me, Abby? A few seconds after you left your room, I got out of my hiding spot and followed behind you. I saw you throw your bags in the back and then get in the car and start it. I wasn't going to let you get away, though, Abby. I would never let that happen. I ran as fast as I could to your car and smashed out the window and dragged you out. Did you really think you could get away from me, Abby? I had to hit you over the head to knock you out. You were making too much noise. Someone that doesn't understand, could have seen and ruined everything. Well, I planned for... Well, I had a plan if you reacted like this. I drove out to the storage unit at the edge of town. I'd reserved the slot the day I decided to move in with you. I drove up and unlocked it. I grabbed you and carried you inside it with me. It had only been a few minutes, so you were still unconscious. I made sure to check through your pockets to make sure you didn't have your phone with you. I set you down at the very back of the small room. Then I got in and lowered the door. I called the owner of the storage unit and told him that I had visited my lot the other day and forgotten to lock it, and asked him if he could mind locking it for me. Of course he said yes, and I hung up. I then threw the phone on the ground and stomped on it to make sure that it'd never work again. Shortly later, I heard the owner come up and lock the door. About an hour later, I saw you start to get up. I first heard a very faint grunt. Then I saw your legs start to move. Shortly after, you were fully awake. When you saw my face, you started to scream, which then subsided to a whine, and then a whimper. That's when you saw it. The one thing in the room, my knife. It was obvious why it was there, and after a few seconds or two of realization, you jumped and grabbed it. I looked you dead in the eyes and said, Abby, I love you. And then I felt the searing pain of the knife being driven into my side. I felt it being pulled out and jabbed back in with great force. I could feel it go in each time like a fire burning a hole through my chest. I fell to the floor, laughing while coughing up blood. I saw you back away, trembling, and sit down in the corner. And now, as I sit here in a puddle of my own blood, writing this, I wonder how you'll go out. Will you use a knife to take your own life, or will you let starvation take you? Either way, we'll be together in death, Abby. Together from the day I saw you till the day we both died, just as I wanted it. And as you sat there crying, I can tell you've come to this realization. Abby, this is all I've ever wanted. And for that, I have to say thank you. Love, Jay.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Damn.
Damn.
And no one ever goes to those storage apartments, apparently.
Psychopath?
Yeah, now have fun meeting any, store clerk again. Alright, we can put back in here, though.
I think it's better without him in here.
You should read the other one. I like that one.
Alright, Lurtz, you have to stay out.
It's Gateway of the Mind.
Alright, then this is a new experience for everybody.
It's a short one. Compared to what you read, yes.
Alright, you guys ready?
Mhm.
Did I read it good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In 1983, a team of deeply bulls.
Huh?
Bulls.
Well, stop breathing. Stop breathing.
Stop breathing. Just stop.
Wait, do you hear something?
Yes.
I'm not even doing anything.
Mics are muted again.
I just go with the running gun.
Alright.
The dog Vietnamese did it so well. Just go running with the machine guns and
It's
The
story
hell?
time with Emily and her father. Ah!
Leedle.
Alright, Mike's muted again. Try this again. In 1983, a team of deeply pious scientists conducted a radical experiment in an undisclosed facility. The scientists have theorized that a human without access to any senses or ways to perceive stimuli would be able to perceive the presence of God. They believed that the five senses clouded our awareness of eternity, and without them, a human could actually establish contact with God by thought. An elderly man who claimed to have nothing left to live for was the only test subject to volunteer, to purge him of all of his senses. The scientists performed a complex operation in which every sensory nerve connected to the brain was surgically severed. Although the test subject retained full muscular function, he could not see, hear, taste, smell, or feel. With no possible way to communicate with or even sense the outside world, he was alone with his thoughts. Scientists monitored him as he spoke aloud from his state of mind in jumbled, slurred sentences that he couldn't even hear. After 4 days, the man claimed to be hearing hushed, unintelligible voices in his head. Assuming it was an onset of psychosis?
Psychosis.
Psychosis. God damn it, Matt. Now you make me look stupid. Why?
It's science. I love science.
The scientists paid little attention to the man's concerns. 2 days later, the man cried that he could hear his dead wife speaking with him. Even more, he could communicate back. The scientists were intrigued, but were not convinced until the subject started naming dead relatives of the scientists. He repeated personal information to the scientists that only their dead spouses and parents would have known. At this point, a sizable proportion of scientists left the study. After a week of conversing with the deceased, though through his thoughts, the subject became distressed, saying the voices were overwhelming. In every waking moment, his consciousness was bombarded by hundreds of voices that refused to leave him alone. He frequently threw himself against the wall, trying to elicit a pain response.
Elicit.
Elicit a pain response. He begged the scientists for sedatives, so he could escape the voices by sleeping. This tactic worked for 3 days, until he started having severe night terrors. The subject repeatedly said that he could see and hear the deceased in his dreams. Only a day later, the subject began to scream and claw at his non-functional eyes, hoping to sense nothing in the physical world. The hysterical subject now said the voices of the dead were deafening and hostile, speaking of hell and the end of the world. At one point, he yelled, "No heaven, no forgiveness," for 5 hours straight. He continually begged to be killed, but the scientists were convinced that he was close to establishing contact with God. After another day, the subject could no longer form coherent sentences. Seemingly mad, he started to bite off chunks of flesh from his arm. The scientists rushed into the test chamber and restrained him to a table so he could not kill himself. After a few hours of being tied down, the subject halted his struggling and screaming. He stared blankly at the ceiling as teardrops silently streaked across his face. For 2 weeks, the subject had to be manually rehydrated due to the constant crying. Eventually, he turned his head and, desperate, despite his blindness, made focused eye contact with the scientist for the first time in the study. He whispered, "I have spoken with God, and he has abandoned us." And his vital signs stopped. There was no apparent cause of death.
Dang.
Alright. Any more? Or can I invite him back into the call? I'm taking that as invite him back.
Yeah, if anything, we could always read them too.
As soon as I invite him, there's a problem with this call. Well, that was story time with me and my friends. And maybe we'll do it another time. I know I probably will. I don't know if they'll be joining me along in the journey, but I will be reading more scary stories at one point. And bye, even though nobody's probably here.